We're rolling.
Roll.
Cool. We edit everything, so no biggie.
Oh, some of it.
Yeah, most of it. All righty, here we are.
Hello.
I don't even know what podcast it is anymore.
I don't know.
I think we're going to stop counting.
Yeah.
We've done so many now. But we're here this week with Dr. Sam Wagner
Ooh.
of the Rehab Lab Wisconsin. I know, I was just saying before we started, like, I feel like doctors, when a doctor's around, it's like, oh, it's just different.
Yeah.
You've done so much more education than most, right? I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
it was a lot.
You sure have. All right, well, let's kick it off with our little Tory in the intro, okay?
All right. Hit it.
In the know in the 920.
Every week. There it is. The intro.
So excited.
Love it.
I always tell people that took me so long to find that little jingle. Like, I listened to hundreds. I don't know why. It was very important that I found the right one.
Yeah.
So now we're stuck with it forever.
It's good. I like it.
Thank
I'm
you.
a fan.
So, Dr. Sam,
Yeah, what's up?
oh my gosh, tell us everything. Like, we have an actual doctor here.
Yeah.
Tell us everything. Where did you get started? What made you want to do what you're doing today?
Yeah. So, I was an athlete growing up, and then I actually went to undergrad at Lawrence
Oh, nice.
in Appleton. I'm originally from the southeast part of the state. Like, we moved from Chicago when I was younger, and I played football, and I had a pretty good career individually.
Yeah.
And was able to pursue some stuff professionally after, and was always doing rehab or always doing body work, things like that, getting adjusted by a chiropractor, all those things.
Yeah.
And that always sparked a huge interest of mine because I thought it was so neat and like kind of powerful a little bit that there's this guy that all he did was use his hands, and like I felt
Yeah.
so good after. And,
Right.
it just, yeah, it helped a lot with like my performance, my recovery, and it
Sure.
always like stuck in my head of like, oh, you can kind of have your own practice too, and like
Right.
do your own thing and set your own hours.
Yeah.
And, like, all right, I want to know more.
Like, I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. So you went to Lawrence.
Yeah, I went to Lawrence for undergrad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I the fact that I'm here now too is just kind of wild because after I graduated, I had no intention of coming back to Appleton, and that's not like a knock on Appleton.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm here now. I love
Right.
Appleton; it's a great
Right.
place. But yeah, just one thing led to another, and I ended up coming back up this way, and it's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so after Lawrence, obviously then you had to go to like, a little bit more school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I went to it's called Life University
Oh.
in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And I did. I got my doctorate of chiropractic and my master's in sport health science down there.
So much.
Yeah, it was about 5 years.
So many books.
Right? It was fun though. I really
Really?
enjoyed it, and I think it's different, when you go from an undergrad experience
Sure.
to graduate school because you're really passionate about what you're learning about.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to, I have my undergrad in business. And at this point in my life, I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to tempt fate. But I've heard that from a lot of people that, like once you're into a master's program and you're actually like in the meat and potatoes of what you like, it's a lot different than like
Yeah.
college algebra.
Right.
Well, and like, yeah, you've got like a cohort of people that like actually care about the same
Right.
stuff too. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professors that actually care.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Life University.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was called. when I say that to people, they're like, "Nice, that's funny." Like,
They're like, did
What is
you
it?
go to Grand Canyon
yeah,
online
right, like
or
one
whatever?
of those
yeah.
one of those T-shirts you see. It's like Life You. Like I get it. That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
you know,
Right,
but-
right.
So it's always kind of funny when I bring that up. But yeah, it's like a legitimate university, college.
It's real, guys.
It's undergrad, graduate school, chiropractic college there as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I wanted to go somewhere outside of the Midwest. And that school also had a rugby program.
Okay.
And since I pursued professional football and all that as a player, the coach found out and offered me some scholarship as well. And I was
Nice.
like, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. That's
Yeah.
sweet. So I ended up deciding to go there. And yeah, it was an awesome experience. My younger brother, actually, a year after I started school, moved down there. And he's all big in like the music scene.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm kind of familiar with a lot of this equipment. for
Yeah.
him. But yeah, so he's still down there and he loved
Okay.
it. And like, it's a great city, great place to be.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to be closer to home now too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just love it. Nick, do you think you can make it through that many years of school?
No.
I know, it's just a lot. It's just a lot.
would
I think
be-
maybe it's just as I've gotten older too. I always say this, but like being in real estate, there's always like 75 things flying at me at once.
Yeah.
It's gotten really hard to read, like actually read. I do tons of audibles and things like that,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
reading is just so hard at this point. I can't imagine cracking more books. In fact, a couple years ago, remember when I got my broker's license, Nick?
Yeah.
And I had to study for that, and I was like in tears. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to pass this.
Well, because you gave yourself like 2 weeks to do it.
True.
So-
But if I don't give myself a real tight deadline,
Yeah.
things don't get done.
I'm thinking now though, I actually I spent 6 years in college.
Yes, you did.
I don't have anything to show for it.
Hey,
but
you're here.
Yeah.
You're here. And that's all that counts.
yeah.
All right, well, more about Dr. Sam. So, when did you how did your practice start? Or did you work somewhere else first and then decide to start your own practice?
Yeah. So I was
Okay.
I was going to blow the doors off, open up this big booming thing. I had it all figured out.
Yes.
And then I was like 90% there.
Yep.
And that 10% was enough for me to be like, okay, let me figure this out. Let me learn more.
Sure.
And so I was an associate for a couple years, and I had always wanted to do what I'm doing now. That's always been the dream. And I always knew that at the conclusion of that, this is what I was going to do. I didn't know where. I was really considering moving back to Atlanta or closer to family, like near the Chicago area.
Sure.
And then one thing led to another, and I got connected with some Packer players, and that was a huge, obviously, selling point to stay here because I've always wanted to work in that professional setting. And then I really like the Appleton community too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of really, really passionate people that actually really valued their health.
True.
And opened a practice actually about 5 minutes down the road from
Oh,
here.
that's awesome.
So it's been July was a full year,
Okay.
and it's been incredible. I'm like super blessed, super fortunate. It's been amazing. So
That is so cool.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. You're like living your dream.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
how
it
it should
really,
be.
like, I tell that to everyone when I go to work. I really don't go to
Yeah.
work. You know,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. I tell my kids that all the time. My daughter is always like, Mom, she thinks she's going to be on Broadway. That's her. She wants to be a star.
nice.
She's like, why do I need math? I'm going to be on Broadway. And I'm like, honey, one step at a time. Got to get through this
Yeah.
to get to the next
Right.
thing,
Well, like
right?
someday you got to do taxes. So.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
You know? Yeah. But I always tell them, like, do well in school. Try hard. Do your best because then someday you can have a job, career that you actually love
Yeah.
versus just, having to go to work and you don't really like it. And I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of people out there that have to do that, unfortunately. And I'm so glad that we don't.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Myself included. I think it's been, it's almost like, I was talking to my fiance about this the other day, that sometimes I just need to like smell the roses a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
this is my life.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So what are some of the things that you do?
Yeah, so I am not like your traditional chiropractor or
Okay.
PT when people think of chiropractic. I like to do stuff a little bit differently.
Okay.
And in saying that, like I'm more rehab and then soft tissue focused.
Okay.
So, like I do some different, like dry needling,
Cool.
cupping, Graston, something called ART, blood flow restriction.
Sure.
I've got a couple other modalities in office that not a lot of people around the area even have, like a class 4 laser, something called stem wave, which is a non-invasive way to recruit your body's own stem cells to accelerate healing.
Huh.
I do individualized corrective exercise programming for people. That's all custom, along with the chiropractic adjustments as well.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, right, it's a lot of different things, but what I always wanted to do is really make sure that it's about the quality rather than the quantity. And like,
Sure.
again, I'm not knocking any other practitioners or providers, but they just practice in a way that never resonated with me. And this really does. So our model is different. It's not like a 10-minute appointment.
Sure.
It's an hour.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yep.
And you're one-on-one with the doc the entire time.
That's
You're not
so
getting,
nice, though.
Yeah. And I mean, I think because of that model, that's why it's grown as quickly as it has.
For sure.
Because people really value that.
I agree completely, because how many times do we all go to any kind of a doctor? And I get it. They're busy.
Yeah.
There's a shortage, all the things, but it's just, you feel like you're constantly just kind of being, rushed along.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really great.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I think that was really, really important to me. I don't want people to come in there to feel like they're just another number. I want them to feel like people.
Yeah.
And so, like, kind of going to what we were chatting about earlier is when am working with them in an appointment, again, I feel like we're just, like, hanging out
Yeah.
and shooting the breeze, but
Yeah.
I'm working on them.
That's
And,
cool.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
So can anybody, like, is it mostly like sports people, Packers, or do you do work on anyone?
Yeah, so I work with really anybody that moves is kind of what my
Okay.
analogy is, right? Like,
Yes.
I think everyone is an athlete
Sure.
in some capacity, whether you're the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers or you are my grandmother that needs to be able to squat to get on her toilet.
Sure.
Right? Like, those are all functional movements. And if we can work together
Sure.
to improve quality of life, I'm all about that,
I love that.
Yeah, so that's really kind of like the emphasis that I try to put, and now the other Dr. Mike, that we try to put with patients.
So you brought another doctor on.
I did.
Look at you growing
Yeah.
already.
No, it's been awesome, and he's an incredible clinician, incredible person, and he's
That's
been just
awesome.
crushing it. So
And you've only been open for a little over a year?
yeah,
What the heck? That's amazing.
I know. Thank you.
100% growth.
Yeah, 100%
It's been-
growth. Good job.
Yeah, like I said, it's been unbelievable.
That's
So,
amazing. So what are some of the lessons? I know you're only, a year into owning this, the rehab lab, but
Sure.
what are some of the things that you've learned along the way? What are some of the things that
Yeah, I mean,
hurdles?
so much.
Yeah.
I think talking about the business side of things is super fascinating. I've learned a ton with that. And I think the realization that I'm sure yourself, right, having your own thing, is you can't do it by yourself. And I think I learned that the hard way, because I started a practice, I traveled for that NFL season, and then I would come back and see patients, and I'd do this and I'd
Sure.
do that. And it's like, man, I don't even what do I need to focus on? There's like
Sure.
so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was almost like paralysis by analysis, right? Oh, I got to do this, but then I need to do this, but I have to do this. And really, really building a quality team of people has been the biggest thing that's been helpful. I have some an awesome team around me.
Yeah.
My admin is amazing.
Sure.
Marketing, social media is amazing. Dr. Mike is amazing. And it's really, really important to me that we continue to cultivate that and grow that, because even then too, like, I know other people probably have been in different positions where they've been an associate or they've been an employee, and it's like they don't feel really valued or cared, and that's like priority number one to me.
Sure.
Because if they're happy, then we can make everyone else happy.
Absolutely. I agree. That is, yeah, that's huge. Very cool.
Yeah.
And I agree with you too. Like, I know for a long time I tried to do it on my own. I
Yeah.
started as just an independent agent with Landro. I've been with them the whole time, 12 years now. And I did it for a long time on my own. But it was getting bigger and bigger, which is great.
Yeah.
But people were starting to be like, Kelly, you're going to burn out. And so finally, I started a team, and I was terrified, like hiring the first person. I had like a part-time admin, and here we are today. Now I have 3 full-time people with me and then a team of agents. But it takes a while, right? To kind of convince yourself, like, okay, this is where I should go, right?
Yeah.
Brandon would always say to me, if you don't have an admin, for example, you are the admin.
Yeah.
Right? And that you got to start looking at highest and best use of your time,
Yeah.
right? And what you're supposed to be doing versus because again, when you own a business, it's so like you just said, the analysis by paralysis, and it's, oh my God, I got to take care of this and the budget and the spreadsheets and the, but really,
Yeah.
like, I should be out selling houses.
Yeah.
And you should be helping people feel better.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to have other people to do the other thing.
Yeah, there was. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a book that I read, and it's funny because obviously your relationship with Brandon and Jenny, I think,
Yeah.
they're amazing. I've actually had a couple lunches with Brandon, and we've kind of like talked.
They
like,
love you.
shop. Yeah.
Shout out to Brandon and Jenny.
they're amazing. But he's been really awesome to just kind of, hey, bounce some thoughts off of. And one book that I read that I think really helped with that trajectory and changed a lot of things is called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And it's a very similar premise of what we've been kind of discussing, where
Sure.
your highest value is, for me, is to care for people.
Right.
It's not to make a social media post.
Yeah.
It's not to go and schedule and call people.
Right.
So that
Yep.
that like helped with the perspective shift too, a little bit as well. And I highly recommend that to.
Buy back your time. I'm
Anybody.
going to read it.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it.
I might actually have an extra copy I can get.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Brandon is like, that guy. I go to him for all when I need like sound advice.
Yeah.
He's never steered me wrong.
Or if you need to be talked out of something.
Or if I need to be talked out of doing something
Yeah.
stupid. Yeah.
Right.
Brandon, I want to put I did this for a while. I want to put my ad on shopping carts. I don't recommend that. No one
that's
cares.
terrible.
Yeah.
That whole year, it was like pick and save. And so I had like 4 people text me that year, and they're like, oh, cute, here's your picture. It's not really effective advertising.
Yeah.
So he's good for those kinds of things before
Yeah.
I spend my money on stupid stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I completely get
It's
that.
helpful to have like mentors, right?
Oh my gosh, it's
yeah.
been amazing. And I
Yeah.
think I'm a byproduct of that. And I think I'm a person that I constantly am seeking wisdom, right? Because
Sure.
I don't have it all figured out at all.
None of us do.
And I think it's really important to lean on people that are more like-minded or have created something successful. And I think, and the conversation I've had with Brandon is service is service. Whether you are selling someone a home or
Right.
trying to help them see that they can have a better quality of life, right? That's a service, like a servant leadership type of position, and just being able to do right by people has been cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's talk about like you working with the Packers a little bit,
Okay.
because that's like really cool.
Yeah, thank you. So I work with privately right now. I work with about 20 different players, and I.
You have to understand, I'm a person that is like starstruck.
Okay.
Any kind of like athlete, any kind of celebrity, I'm just like, like they're on a different level.
Yeah.
So that is really cool.
Yeah, thank you. So it's fun. I work with those guys now, almost 7 days a week.
That's awesome.
Dang.
Yeah, it's busy. This
You
is
go
my
there?
busy time of year. Yeah, I go there.
Okay.
Um,
You have like special access pass, probably.
so I actually go to their homes.
Shut
Right
up.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
And then I'm in the process of getting a nut. So
This is amazing.
Yeah, putting the cart before the horse, maybe. But we're in the process of looking at some more spaces in like the De Pere or Green Bay area
Okay.
to have another location, just
That would
because
be cool.
it would make it easier as well.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what I do now, and
That is so cool. You're
yeah.
like casually. I go to their homes. Oh, okay. Great. Wow.
yeah,
I love it. That's amazing.
yeah, it's fun, and I think so. That kind of all got started from I met now one of my friends that we talk a lot about stuff. He does a very similar thing in Chicago with the Bears.
Okay.
And when I was pursuing all my professional football stuff, I was doing all of my combine and pro day prep at a gym in Chicago, and he was an intern there, and he said he wanted to go to school to do very similar stuff. So we just kind of stayed in touch, and one of his players, 2 years ago, had gone to high school with a guy up in Green Bay, and literally put us in a group chat. I went to his house and worked on him, and here we are.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love that kind of stuff because there's so like you can work and work and work and try and try and try, and all of that is good and it helps, right? But there's like those little moments in life.
Yeah.
Where you meet someone that all of a sudden it like stems out into this other big thing.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
It's been unreal, and I think that's where if I have like any sort of recommendation to people is like really cultivate and lean into your relationships, because you never know when an
So
opportunity
true.
is going to present itself. And
Yep.
that's really important for me. Like when I meet people and when I have conversations, it's like I want to make sure that they have a good interaction with me, just because, yeah, maybe there's an opportunity that I can pass their way or something,
Right.
and they're like top of mind. So
Vice versa. I completely agree. And that's, some of the people we've had on here now, I'm like hooking up with different clients for different things. And it's, I love that. I think that's so great. So do you want to hear something funny about my experience with the Packers?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to tell the story.
You love this story.
I know I do. I'll make it really quick. Like 2 years ago, we had an admin at the time that brought in a Packer player, but I didn't know he was a Packer player. Okay. And Nick was not around. Nobody else was here. That it was like a Friday afternoon or
I was on
something.
the toilet.
Oh, well, I was going to try to.
I was on the toilet.
Okay, great. Well, anyways, I'm in my office and I am having one of those like super busy days, like so freaking busy that and a lot of times when there's a new agent like hired over on that side or something, they'll bring him over here and introduce him to me. I thought he was an agent. I had no idea it was Aaron Jones.
Yeah, she just walks up and goes, "Hey, Kelly, this is Aaron."
Well, yeah, no, well, yeah, no, you're right. She did say his name. She said, "This is Aaron." I feel so bad, though, to this day. I was like, hi. I didn't even get up, shake. I shook his hand, but I didn't even, get up because I was so busy and so stressed. And then it was just, this weird, awkward moment of, I'm like, cool. And then I literally said, "Oh, so are you joining our brokerage?" And they both look at each other and they kind of laugh. And he goes, "Well, I guess I do have, some free time during the year." And then she says, "Well, that would be quite a pay cut for you, though." And I'm still not catching on, completely not. So then they leave. And then a little while later, she comes back over and she goes, "That was Aaron Jones." And I was like, "What? Excuse me?"
Yeah, and at this time, I'm
Now
back
he's back
down
at his
here.
desk and he's like, "What?"
And yeah,
He was
she's like,
mad.
"Nick, you know who Aaron Jones is?" I was like, "Yeah, last year he was like the leader in rushing yards in the NFL."
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my little
That's
brush
funny.
with the Packers. Oh my gosh. Now, ever since then, well, now he's, with the
Yeah,
Vikings.
he's coming
But
back this weekend.
I
now.
know, I know. But ever since then, I've really rooted for him. Now I recognize him.
Yeah.
Now when I go to when I was
He's a
going to Packer
super
games,
good guy.
he seems like it. And you know what? Actually, this morning I was going to an appointment, and I heard on the radio they were talking about like a letter that he wrote.
Yep.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah. To the it was on Player Tribune, a letter back to the Green Bay community.
Yeah.
It's really well written.
Right. It was very nice. And, and they were, the radio hosts were just really encouraging people because you know how we're diehards, right?
Yeah.
And, Green Bay. Just be nice. Be nice to him. Be civil. We don't all have to hate, right? He's
it
a
wasn't-
great guy.
Right.
It really wasn't his decision to leave either. That's
Well,
just football.
Yeah, it is. It's football. Yeah. That is so cool, though. Okay, so what are some other really cool things that you feel like you've done? Who have you cured?
Who I cured.
No, but what are just some great things, that you feel like this was an awesome,
As far-
accomplishment?
Yeah. Man. Like in business or
Just anything that okay, I'm assuming with all the different things that you guys do,
Sure.
right? You're not just traditional
yeah.
chiropractic, right? You've probably had to go do more
Yeah.
learning and conferences or
sure.
whatever, right? And incorporate all that stuff in.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
doing a lot of that. I think if you want to talk about patient experiences,
Mm-hmm.
there was a woman that came in. This was last year, and she had been dealing with chronic knee pain for 9 years. Was told that she was going to need to get a replacement, and she's like, "Well, I want to exhaust all options," and it was pretty cool. I worked with her in one visit, and then all of a sudden she started crying. I was like, "Oh no, what did I do? What did
Yeah,
I
you're like, is
do?"
this good or bad?
Yeah, and she was in tears because that was the first time that she was not in pain in 9 years.
Gosh,
It was pretty cool. And I think that was
that
like
is cool.
like even now gets me a little like
Yeah.
choked up about it
Yeah.
because it's like hey, I did the right thing. You know,
Yeah.
like, this has been worth it.
That's awesome.
It was cool.
That is really cool,
Yeah.
especially when you have chronic pain like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so nice if all of a sudden it's not. I feel like a lot of times you just kind of almost, I mean, it's there, but it's just like you feel like you're never going to get out of it. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like, oh, well, I got to live with this. And then you come along,
Yeah, that was
the healer.
the healer. It was cool.
I love that. I love that so much. That is so great. So how can people, what's the best way for people to find you?
Yeah, I think the best way, the website or on social media,
Okay.
we're Rehab Lab Wisconsin is on Facebook,
Okay.
and then it's Rehab Lab Wisco, WISCO,
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram.
Okay.
The website is rehablabwi.com.
Okay.
On there, we post a ton of different content like exercises, or you've got an ache here, this is what we would recommend, or just a bunch of different things. We do a lot of free workshops and educational things at local gyms and also some businesses. Like I've gone and spoken with a couple dental offices about like just posture and things
Sure.
like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so just a lot of different ways to just provide
Yeah.
just content for people that can
Seems
be
like
beneficial.
you're really like giving back to the community, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's super important to me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the ways to get a hold of you. Now, can anybody come to you, or is it like doctor, you know, you need like the doctor note first kind of thing from the general MD?
Yeah, so anyone
Anybody.
anyone can come with us. What we really try to do is hop on a call first with myself or Dr. Mike just to let's see if we can even help you first,
Sure.
you know, and then we'll go from there.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like I'm going to have to come visit at some point.
Yeah, we're super close to right now.
I know,
Yeah.
right? This is great. This is awesome. Well, anything else that you want to share with us?
No, I just thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah,
Like,
thank you.
Brandon and Jenny spoke super highly of you all. and
Oh, that's so
so I was
sweet.
excited to come.
Well,
and,
they
and
spoke
chat for a little
super
bit.
highly of you too. We were like so excited. We're like, Dr. Sam is coming.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it was like, man, I love that guy.
Yeah, for real. And you don't, Brandon, as wonderful of a guy as he is, and as smart as he is, he doesn't get excited very often. So,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's
I'm honored.
right, exactly. No, that's awesome. All right, well, I hope everybody just continues to reach out to you and, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing awesome stuff for the, you know, not only in your practice, but for the whole community. And
you.
that's awesome.
Appreciate
And
it.
I really like the name too. It's just catchy.
Yeah.
Rehab Lab.
And it's easy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
thank
I
you.
said, like it was like my stupid jingle. I had to look, I wanted like, you know, I think the name and that kind of stuff is really important.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
It's either going to click or it's not.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again so very much.
Thank you.
We are going to cover a couple of weekend events. Do you want to hear about them?
I would love to hear.
Okay, I bet you do.
Yeah, what's
All
going
right.
on?
So let's see. This weekend, we have a lot of things. Oh, the
Yeah.
first one is Vino and Tapas, as in wine and tapas. Okay. This is at Vince Lombardi's Steakhouse.
Nice.
Friday, 5:30 to 8:30. That looks really cool and sounds really delicious. So that is, it says, savor an evening of gourmet indulgence at Vince Lombardi's Steakhouse. Join us for an exclusive wine and tapas pairing dinner. Culinary team has expertly curated an unforgettable 5-course experience. I think that'll be amazing. What do you got, Nick?
I have the Hallows by Youthgo.
I love this time of year, all the Halloween stuff.
We've done a In the Know in the 920 video there at Youthgo before.
We did. We used to
So,
go out
pretty
and
cool.
do this, Sam. We used to go out and do this, like the In the Know thing. That was one of my prouder moments. The In the Know in the
Yeah.
920.
Yeah, it's good.
That took a while. But we used to go and do, like, we had our videographer and we would go out to businesses and do it that way. Because for years I've been, you know, trying to promote businesses throughout the
Yeah.
community and charities. And then this is the year that we finally were like, let's do a podcast.
That was harder to schedule, I feel.
It was. It's almost easier when people come here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do it the same time every week. We're like, here it goes. Okay, so tell us about this.
The Hallows is a haunted trail walk through the woods of
Ooh.
Memorial Park in Neenah with the light of a single lantern. It'll be your challenge to survive what waits for you in the Hallows and find your way out. $10 per person, $5 with a valid student ID.
That sounds really cool.
This is Friday, 6:30 to 10:30.
I love that kind of stuff. I'm such a sucker for anything Halloween, all of it. I love it. Oh, okay. I've heard of this before. You probably know what this is. The Grunsky Runski.
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. That's happening Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Curtis Reed Square in Menasha. So, it says, are you ready for a weekend of fun? It's the 44th annual Otto Grunsky Runski.
Huh.
Saturday, September 28th, like I said, starts at 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. Okay, it starts and finishes at Curtis Reed Square, which is 160 Main Street in Menasha. It says, join in the fun. Oh, there's a costume contest. And enjoy the post-race after party. Classic hits are going to be playing from WVBO. So it just looks like fun. Just a race, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't love a good run? I say that with a little bit of sarcasm because I was in track back in the day, and we did sprints, and sometimes we would have to run longer distances every once in a while just for like conditioning or whatever. And we always looked at each other like, who does this for enjoyment? I don't understand it. But I know there's a lot of people that do. I know there's a lot of people that do.
And we do have noted on the next page that the proceeds of the
Oh,
run
yeah.
ski go to the Menasha Parks and Recreation Family Assistance Fund.
That's
So,
cool.
Very cool.
I love that.
All right, I'll take the big
here's
one.
the big one.
So this weekend is Appleton's Oktoberfest.
Oh, okay.
So
Have you been to that?
I don't think I have.
Okay, well, it's an experience. It's very crowded.
yeah, get your business cards out there. Lots of drunk people rolling their ankles and stuff. So.
For real. Yes.
Yeah, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. downtown Appleton. It's College Avenue. It's kind of hard to miss it, but yeah, that's where it is. It's free admission, but yeah, there's food, beer, music.
Lots of food, lots of beer, lots of different there's like little different, stages, different performances and stuff. One end, kind of more towards I think the Lawrence end, they have like a bunch of arts and crafts and that kind of stuff and some things for the kids. But listen, I loved Oktoberfest in my 20s.
Sure.
And then it just it's just really crowded.
Yeah, when you can like tolerate a crowd of people.
Yeah. Now crowds make me a little nervous. But good for all the people that are going to go. I'm glad that the city puts on such good, events. So that's awesome. Okay, Fall Fest at Givens Farm. This sounds a little more up my alley.
Yeah.
Saturday, 9 to 1, Givens Farm in Hortonville. Ooh. So it says, join us for a delightful autumn celebration. Let's see, local crafts, antiques, and home decor. Yep, this is right up my alley. Homegrown pumpkins, apothecaries. Ooh. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Apothecaries. It says explore natural products and remedies from local vendors. Falconry. Get up close and personal with stunning birds of prey. And scenic hay rides. Enjoy a leisurely ride through the farm. That's really cool.
Very cool. All right, I'll take the final one here.
Okay.
Magic class, free admission. Sunday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Monty's Secret Theater in Kimberly. A wonderful opportunity to gather friends, family, and neighbors for a day filled with fun and festivities. There's something for every age. They're doing Monty's free introductory magic class. That lets you dive into a range of techniques and magic used by professional magicians. You can amaze and impress your friends and perform at parties. Wow.
Learn those party tricks.
So the class is designed for adults and children above age 7.
Okay.
Children must be accompanied by an adult.
Sure. I've heard really good things about Monty's Theater, and I've seen him performing in the community, doing different things, and it's pretty cool, pretty legit.
Yeah.
Definitely
so
magical.
legit.
Definitely magic, all magic, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing behind it. All right, well, I think it's going to be a great weekend. I honestly love sharing these because I end up a lot of times doing something that was on
Yeah,
here, like learning things that I didn't know about.
I'm probably going to do one of those with my fiance this weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you again so much, Dr. Sam Wagner. The doctor's in the house. Rehab Lab Wisconsin. Everybody, check it out. All right, and have a great weekend.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.